This is the final video for the lemon lime prayer plant. I hope that you are using the supporting mist, which is the open heart. That helps us in remaining open, curious, staying curious, vulnerable, really able to open our hearts, to see the truth of everything within us and also share that with others if we choose to. It also helps us perceive time in a way that is not rushing or not like we're behind, so that we feel like we're in the right place at the right moment. I've also been using as a support inner knowing a ton. So I just share that in case any of you have that at home. I already use tons of open heart constantly, but inner knowing has just been my right hand in the last few weeks of working with lemon lime, because I think it helps us navigate. Well, I know, and I know it helps us navigate the unknown. And the world is just in a really interesting place right now. And personally, as we transition this month from ox year to tiger year in the Eastern lunar calendar, I noticed a pretty significant difference in how I feel my inner landscape or my inner world in relationship to external world. And I've had both teachers as well as my own personal experience and observing others instruct me in that this year, the tiger year, well, basically that it could be a hard year for many people. That's kind of what I've heard. From my own personal experience, I notice that it is, at least in this time period, harder to keep a stabilized mind. And so it's like the lemon lime prayer plant couldn't come at a better time, because it's like absolutely necessary, at least in my own personal experience. It is absolutely necessary to lean into all of those practices that you do, or the one singular practice that you do that stabilizes you. So whether it's flower essences, which we're all consuming, using regularly, if you have a meditation practice, engage your meditation practice. If you don't have a meditation practice, time to get one. If you have a movement or embodiment practice that helps center you in your power and in your self-trust and self-love, do that. Anything you can do to activate your spiritual practice, the deeper meaning, the deeper wisdom and intention behind anything and everything that you engage with in life. It just seems like we need to turn the volume up on all of that. Whereas for me personally, last year was more a physical year. It was like getting into shape, figuring out what does it feel like to do 90 push-ups, doing high intensity trainings and running in the hot sun in the summer here in Arizona, and doing self-defense classes. Very physical year. This year feels very inward, and that it is going to be absolutely necessary that we engage in all of those practices that we need in order to stabilize our minds, mind, heart. And then also when you look at the world and all of the things going on right now, I think everybody would agree that there is this kind of level of uncertainty and precariousness and differing stories and different realities in different parts of the world and different parts of the country. And so this is where rubber hits the road, and it's the perfect timing with the lemon lime prayer plant to really dig deep and see, what are your deepest intentions? Why are you here? What do you want to do before you die? I know this sounds so intense, but these are really things that I am contemplating in the last few weeks and days profoundly. Sometimes it wakes me up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep because I am feeling that sense of impermanence and that things are constantly changing. And time is like sands, slipping through the glass. What do you call those things? Time gets away from us. And so now is really the time to choose wisely what we do with our time, and to make sure it's infused with the most profound sense of our spiritual and divine and sacred intentionality. So the question for this week is, and this may be a repeat of other of other weeks, but I really want all of us to be on the same page with this. And the question is, maybe there's a few questions. What is my most profound offering? What is my most meaningful contribution? And most importantly, right now, what is the way that I connect with my own sense of divine, sacred, spiritual, powerful, wisdom, being, consciousness that is embodied in this particular body, inside your body? How do you harness that? How do you anchor that in? How do you ground that into your body? And how do you infuse all of your activities, setting your sails in the direction you're going in from that anchored sense of who are you, in the biggest sense of that word? Who are you? What is your most divine, special, sacred, wise knowingness part of you? How do you access that? And let's bring that to the forefront, and let's make time for accessing that every day. We are at a point in our history where it's going to be very important for all of us to get rooted and centered in that energy, in that knowingness, in that wisdom, in that empowerment and stability.